Well, I think we would have liked to have seen more radical restart measures to assist the business community in making sure it recharges in a very sensitive period that it's clearly going to continue, so that it can also create jobs. We've heard we've lost 1,000 jobs in the economy over the last year or so. So that's an important issue to bear in mind. We all know by just walking around Gibraltar that the tourism industry is practically collapsed. I think the budget itself shows very little in identifying, for example, efficiencies, cutting down of waste or abuse in how public contracts are administered. It doesn't identify savings that can be made across departments that are not essential, like health and care. And so it doesn't really point to a very coherent strategy of dealing with the economic issues.
On what you call the mismanagement of public finance, the Chief Minister, when confronted with that in the past, has often said, well, what would you not have spent the money on? So can I put that question to you?
Well, I think the point is this, that the GSD in office had a track record of delivering improvements in public services, but not racking up public debt in the way that they have. I mean, I talk about my own time during a minister in the GSD when, the last financial year, the last full financial year of the GSLP in 94-95 there was higher gross debt than when in my last year as a minister in the GSD. Sure, of course, debt went up later, but I take the view that there should be a much more contained and prudential view of debt, and you can still deliver improvements in public services. I think the big point to make is that the figures that the Chief Minister and the government has announced are artificial. They're not real. They don't present the real picture of net debt for Gibraltar, because the real gross debt of Gibraltar is 1.7 billion, but they've got hundreds of millions, almost £1 billion off book, without us knowing clearly what they've used that for, without knowing whether the money is left. So if you add that up, the net debt of Gibraltar would be much more significant. And I think the big admission came during his contribution when the Chief Minister said, if I put it all directly on book, then I might breach the legal limit.